Very serious show today. I don't know if most of y'all already heard that Assata Shakur, the United States government has put a $2 billion bounty on her. And the woman has been in Cuba since 1980, I want to say. So let's get to this panel, and I'm going to introduce everybody to my right. I want to start off by introducing Tiffany. How you doing today, Tiff?
I'm doing blessed. I can't complain. It's a blessing to be here. Okay,
all right. And to her right, we got Alberta. How you doing, Alberta?
I'm wonderful today. Well, I'm glad to be here today.
Oh, I know you got a lot to say about that.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I know it. All right. To her right, we got Gidon Ben Israel, King of the Hebrew Israelites.
Oh, my brother, for shizzle, my nizzle.
King of the Hebrew Israelites.
No. There's only one king of the Hebrews. His name is Yeshua.
The Hebrews wanted a king.
Yes, they did.
They said enough of this. We want a king.
The spirit thing. Give us some flesh and blood.
Be held accountable.
Yes, and that king is not sitting in this seat. That king is sitting on high.
Because you're the only Hebrew Israelite to come on the show that makes you a king.
Okay, well, if you say so.
That's right. Tiffany's a Hebrew Israelite too.
There you go.
Okay. All right, let's get down to business. Cuba. Tiffany, tell me about Assata Shakur. Give me just a brief history on who Assata is.
Okay. For those of you out there that don't know anything about Miss Assata Shakur, she was one of the sisters that was a part of the Black Panther movement organization, which started around the late 60s. And during this time, she was a victim of an incident that took place in New Jersey in the 70s, where her and another Black Panther leader was shot at, but the leader was killed, and she ended up being wounded and was rushed to the hospital. However, the police officer in New Jersey was killed, and she was prosecuted. So her aunt, who was the lawyer, represented her, on her behalf. And so now that they have been accusing this woman of killing the police officer ever since then. And so she fled away to Cuba just to get away from the injustice and all the nonsense. And now she's on the F.B.I. most wanted list. But I want to say this sister is very innocent,
Well, let me ask you a quick question, Tiffany.
Go ahead.
You said she fled to Cuba. Now, did she get arrested at one point?
But she did get arrested one point in time. She did.
Okay, and did she go to prison at one point?
Okay, yes, she went to prison. However,
how did she get out of prison?
Because of the members of the the Black Panthers organization.
Was it the Black Panther or the Black Liberation Army?
I'm sorry?
The Black Liberation Army?
Well, we talking about the members of I'm talking about the original Black Panther, the members of that organization.
Okay, what I want to know, just for the audience, was it the Black Panthers or was it the Liberation Army that broke her out of prison?
Well, I don't believe that it was the Liberation Army. I believe it was one of the
Black Panthers.
Yeah, the members of the original Black Panthers.
Okay, well, that's some very vital information that needs to be known there, because she was broken out of prison. And so, and did flee to Cuba. That was very important part she left out there. But Alberta, are they making our grandmas terrorists now? This lady is what, 7 years old?
You know what? The U.S. government is rounding up all its opposition, and that's how I look at it. We are living in a time when your thoughts can be prosecuted. Your thoughts, whatever you publish online, whatever you talk about on TV, it can be prosecuted under these current hate crime laws in America. According to the Patriot Act, the Homeland Security Act, and the National Defense Authorization Act, any U.S. citizen whom the government deems as a potential terrorist can be detained indefinitely. They can be rounded up, and they can be prosecuted and detained indefinitely. And I'm telling you, we are living in a time when your civil liberties are under attack in this country. Your civil liberties are under attack by this government. And right now, I'm afraid to even publish certain things online myself these days, because I know that the U.S. government, I know that law the law enforcement agencies like the F.B.I., the C.I.A. Exactly. They can come after me. They can fabricate a story about me being a potential terrorist.
Much like the bombers.
Exactly.
Bombers.
Like the Boston bombers. I mean,
much like the guy that got his tongue.
Exactly.
Oh wow, Alberta, what did Assata say that was so terrorizing?
You know, Assata was a Black Panther member.
Okay.
And that alone is a threat to the United States of the United States of America. That is a threat. Any opposition to U.S. policies is a threat to the United States government, and that's all it is. She was an ex-Black Panther member,
right,
who was wrongly accused, falsely accused of murdering a law enforcement official in New Jersey years ago, and actually they tried to kill her. They tried to kill her. Right. She surrendered. She surrendered. Back, right? Yes, yeah. She surrendered, and they shot her twice in the back. And you know, as she put her hands up, they shot her, and they tried to kill her. Right. And she feared for her life in prison. She feared for her life. Okay, and I understand that she was in prison for a few years.
And mind you, she was in an all-male prison.
Exactly.
She was the first female to be put in an well, we don't know if she was the first female to put it, because we don't know what they do, but this is the first female to speak out and say that she was actually put in an all-male prison.
Exactly.
Said, wow, really?
And where she was tortured.
Right, and she was in solitary confinement for 2 straight years?
Yeah.
Wow. Gideon, you see what you religious zealots done did? Got the government coming after everybody.
Everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Because of y'all Hebrews and Christians and Muslims. I'm just saying. I mean, is it true?
Not the Hebrews. Not the Hebrews.
The Hebrews too.
Not the Hebrews. No, we just going by the faith that we believe in. We ain't terrorizing nobody.
But I think what's going on here is that I think the United States government wants to de-religionize everybody. But that's just my opinion. Go ahead, Gideon. What?
Well, you know, it's interesting because Assata Shakur is a reflection of these 2 beautiful sisters that we have here. She's actually a relic from the past of the type of zealots among our women that we used to have.
Wait a minute, hold up. The Black Panther Party, most of them were atheists. So I don't know about this zealot thing.
Well, zealot simply doesn't have any religious connotation. It simply means something that is someone who is a enthusiast,
let's use the word revolutionary, because you confuse me when you say zealot, because that's why I see y'all religious folks.
Well, not really. Again, the term is a religious term that has maybe have been co-opted in a religious context.
Right.
But again, Assata Shakur represents the type of feminine energy and strategist, and one that has a knowledge of her nation and how it needs to fight against those that would imprison, oppress, and impugn the character of her people.
Right.
And if you remember now, the Black Panther Party, they had Feed the Poor program. They were saying sickle cell, we're not going to fight anybody, but if you come to us, we carry these guns for a reason concept, which didn't help them in the end, because they dealing with straight up killers.
The original defenders of the Second Amendment, I might add.
Exactly.
Yep.
So again, but see, this is the very unique thing that I think not all, but a lot of our people may have missed. When Jay-Z and Beyonce went to Cuba as an emissary of the American government after having gotten permission, it was only then the publicized event highlighted Sakata's new home, and then right after they got back with presidential permission, then the reward went up, and it's not billion, it's 2 million. It went from 1 million to 2 million.
You mean to tell me Jay-Z and Beyonce United States spies?
Hello, now we're talking. The talented 10 owe their life and all of their substance to white supremacy and the leadership in that white supremacist agenda.
Much like Cynthia McKinney, who signed the thing to order Assata Shakur arrested, and guess y'all didn't know that either.
Well, that's inside stuff.
Cynthia McKinney signed an order when she was in Congress to have Assata Shakur back deported here in the United States to face justice.
Well, she had to now.
How long
Remember,
ago was this? How long
when
ago
she
was
was in Congress.
How long ago?
It was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How long ago was that?
maybe 7, 8 years.
Yeah, but the fact
You know,
she
she
did
a
it.
whole new woman now.
All right, well, I'm gonna have her on the show.
Yes.
Definitely me, because she know I'm
She
a
a whole new
real.
woman now.
Yes.
Bring her on the show.
Yes.
'Cause we like to question her on the arena.
Absolutely. Well, in conclusion, I just want to say that that's very interesting to see how the publicity around Assata was highlighted
Right.
immediately after their trip.
Right.
So they were
Yeah.
there as emissaries of not only the American government, CIA, FBI, NSA, you name it.
And let me ask you a question, Tiffany. Now we talk about, Gideon talked about, Jay-Z and Beyonce going over there and bringing attention to Cuba. We had Dennis Rodman go over to North Korea, bringing attention over there. But since we bring up Cynthia McKinney, right before Gaddafi was killed, she went over there as an emissary.
True that.
Remember that? So,
Look out now, look out.
do our
That's too much
research over
truth.
here now,
That's too
right?
much truth, that black.
Hey, we bring it. We bring it. So, my question is, they have this government over in Cuba, communism, and, Fidel, I think he's about 100, I'm exaggerating.
Fidel is dead.
He's
His
about
brother.
1 foot in the grave, so now Raul, right, so you got Raul about to take over.
Yes.
Are they setting up this change? Are they putting pressure on Cuba, maybe?
Who is the U.S. putting pressure on Cuba?
Yeah.
As far as
I mean, you got $2 million, and supposedly, you got people hungry.
if you want to say that they putting pressure on Cuba to release her, yes. But as I was saying on the last show, because of the situation that the U.S. and Cuba have going on with one another,
Let's recap that.
okay, because U.S. and Cuba that had their situation ever since, like you said,
The
since
Bay of Pigs, right.
yeah, the day Kennedy was in office.
Right. They got upset because, this is to the audience, because the president of Russia wanted to send missiles over to Fidel.
Right.
And so that caused a big old stank, and
Right.
they Bay of Pigs, basically.
Right, okay, and that's gonna even cause more problem. If you trying to put $2 million bond on someone that's from the U.S. and that's staying over there in Cuba, yeah, it's gonna cause problem, because I personally think it's gonna be it's gonna take a lot of trouble to get that woman, for somebody to say, she's over here, bring her back over here to America. It's gonna take a lot of problem from that. So, I mean, they can keep,
considering that she's protected from, she's
Right.
protected by the
yeah,
Cuban
she's
government,
protected.
because
Exactly.
they tried it once again.
It's gonna take a war. It's gonna take a war. It's gonna take a war in order to get her.
Well, that's good to know, Alberta.
Yes, I mean, it's the bottom line. It's the truth.
Okay, Alberta.
I mean, I agree with her. I think that it's going to cause a lot of problems between the Cuban government and the American government. I think that,
So this is bigger than Assata.
yes, I do think that. I think that this is like a veiled attempt for the U.S. government to go against the Cuban government. That's also my opinion,
okay.
I think it is. And
I mean, you
I
guys
just
are painting the
don't.
picture. And
I don't
I'm
see
seeing
Assata Shakur turning herself in.
No.
Of
You know,
course she
and it's going to be a problem.
I mean, of course not, because she's been living over there as long. She probably speak Spanish
Right,
better
and
than
then
she speak English.
she enjoying the life, being over there in a tropical area, living in a nice home, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Being free.
Right, enjoying the hospitality. Yeah, of course. I mean, she's not gonna want to turn herself, especially if they out to want to kill her.
Right.
No, I mean, that's just like with me. If I was to go somewhere, if they done had a warrant out for me, saying that I done killed someone and I'm over in another country, do you think I want to come back home?
Especially when she was acquitted several times. A lot
Right,
of
but
people
do you
don't know
think I
that.
wanna-
And why,
No.
after
Why would I
40
wanna go?
years, would they decide, okay, we're going to place her on the top 10 most wanted FBI list? After
Right.
40 years.
And as a terrorist at that.
I mean, but she was already on the so-called terrorist government
right.
watch list for years now. But to place her on the top 10 most wanted terrorist, I mean, that's
I think they run out of radicals.
I know they just want to kill her. I think
that's all they want.
They just want to kill her.
They've been wanting to do that. You know, ever since they prosecuted her for killing a police officer, because they big about police officers, big time. Anybody that if you're accused of killing an officer or a military soldier, they gonna come after you. The government gonna come after you. They gonna do their best to get you down. And in this case, because it's over a police officer and being that she was a part of the Black Panther movement, yeah, they want to take her down. They want to take her out of here. It ain't about her going to jail or spend the rest of her life in prison. It's about they wanting to kill her. And that's the bottom line, too.
And now the U.S. government can justify sending perhaps a drone to take her out. They can justify it now because she is on the top 10.
Wait a minute, Alberta. You
most
cannot
wanted.
Send a drone to Cuba. That's like sending a drone to Russia. That's a sovereign nation.
The U.S. government does what the U.S. government wants to do and has been doing for the past 100 years in this country. And I just right now, I'm just very upset right now that she is on the top 10 most wanted list.
No.
After 40 years, are you serious?
Hold on, Gideon, you got to jump in here. Are they trying to do a sort of like they did Christopher Donner?
Oh, absolutely. You took the words out of my mouth. Well, by the way, also, you've got a noted terrorist on this panel here.
What?
You're looking at him.
What?
See, this is the issue.
Gideon, you're not a terrorist.
I sure am not, but I'm on the list.
The U.S. government can declare him a terrorist.
Exactly.
Because he opposes its policies.
Exactly.
He opposes its terrorist policies at that.
Exactly.
This U.S. government is the biggest terrorist on the planet. And that's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
That's the bottom line.
That's my opinion, okay? And they could come after me. They could fabricate a lie on me like they did the Boston bombers.
Sure.
Right.
You know, and say that I'm an extremist, even though I'm an atheist. You know, but they...
You can be an extreme atheist.
They can say, well, Alberta, we saw in Walmart buying a pressure cooker.
Yeah, they can fabricate a story and use the media to attack me, to destroy my credibility, like they did the Boston bombers. And that's it, pretty much.
That's what Don said. Don said they were set up.
Well, I think it's a bigger issue than Assata. Assata, as you mentioned, is 70 years old. The Black Panther Party has been blown to smithereens. Technically, you got the quote-unquote new Black Panthers, but that's nothing like what it was from the beginning. I believe that it's a bigger issue as it relates to America and Cuba and their relationship with Russia. And them wanting to, we just did a show earlier called Infiltration Through Integration. What they want to do is, as they did, they got Jay-Z, Beyonce over there, that was the infiltration. And once they integrate, and once they start getting others to go, then they can infiltrate. And that infiltration allows them to get information that they would have not been able to get being on the outside looking in. So again, Assata is just, for me, just a poster child, a wag the dog concept that would allow them press and get the people looking there while they're really doing this over here in Cuba and dealing with the relationship between Cuba and Russia, their age-old enemies.
770-559-2999. Can I get the number, y'all? Y'all call in and get some of this. Tiffany.
Yes. Oh, I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
About the Assata Shakur situation.
All right, go ahead.
And just like with Miss Alberta, she's upset. I'm highly upset as well.
Right, it's right. That's
Okay,
grandmother, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not only that, because they knew what happened to her in that time period. They knew that this woman was shot twice.
Right.
This woman almost lost. Yeah. She had her hands up. This woman almost lost her life.
Right.
She almost lost her life.
Right. That's true.
And they had the evidence there. Even a police officer.
Wait a minute, you mean to tell me they railroaded the woman?
Black.
Oh, we got a caller. Oh, hold on one second, Tiffany. Let's get this caller. Caller.
Gideon.
Ooh, okay.
Did I hear my name?
Turn your TV down.
TV's down.
Yeah, okay, cool. Go ahead.
Yeah. The young lady made an interesting comment about thought crime. They put that in a movie years ago with Tom Cruise, Minority Report. But the thought crime situation has always been around because it's called the American Inquisition, which the Inquisitors has always been here and has been around. So that's what they're doing again. It's nothing new. They've been doing it, but it's just coming to the surface now. So we're being prosecuted and looked at through the Inquisitors, the same way they did through the Roman Catholic Church when you didn't conform to their ways. Because your boy Bush said, if you're not with us, then you're against us. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you, caller. Joe?
Yes, I did.
Talking about the Minority Report with Tom Cruise, where they went back into the future because you thought about killing somebody and then they came and arrested you. Well, you're under arrest for the future crime and all that, so, which is kind of crazy concept. But,
yes. Well, as I was saying though, yeah, they had the information, they had the evidence. Even a police officer from New Jersey even confessed that she she was shot. A white officer.
Right.
You know, but still they turned against her, not only because she was a Black Panther part, but she was a black woman. She was black, period. That's all it was all about, because racism was still going on back in those days.
Much like right now?
Yeah, much like, but it was worse back then
than
it is now.
Okay.
I think racism is worse today more so than back in the 1800s. I think it's far worse today in this country, you know, and I just, right now, I feel less free in this country. I mean, you know, I just feel less free. I feel like,
we don't have no
because,
freedom. We don't have freedom in this country.
You know what? I agree.
I mean, I'm sorry, we don't have no freedom, because
I agree.
If you gotta sit here and pay taxes,
but how we gonna build
wait a minute.
Okay.
If you gotta pay taxes in this country, you're still a slave, regardless whether you're working for the government, the white man, or whether you work in the street. Where you think that tax dollar's going to? It's gonna go back to the government.
But we got to build the roads, infrastructures.
Right, but what I'm saying is you don't have no freedom. They tell you got freedom. If you got freedom, you should be able to be free to get on the airplane and go to wherever country you want to. But it's not free for you to get on no airplane. You gotta pay to get where you want to go. You gotta
pay for the fuel.
You gotta pay. Yeah, you gotta pay for everything. You know, I mean, the only way you're gonna be free is either you're homeless or you dead and gone. That's it. But as long as you paying taxes, as long as you working, you're still a slave. But they have another name for it.
Well, I think you're a slave even if you're homeless in this country. I think you're still a slave.
All right, y'all, we're gonna take okay, all right. So, Alberta, you talked about okay, Tiffany talked about us not being free.
We're not.
And we talk, and we can talk about also. Let's throw in the economical structures. You know, I mean, Cuba's still under what you call it, socialist. Socialism.
Or
Right.
communism.
Communism. Okay. I'm gonna bring in my expert here.
The Yinga.
What expert?
All right, we're gonna. Okay, we got Yanga in the hizzle for shizzle bizzle. What's going on, Yanga?
What's going on? They made me appear on here like magic. Military training.
Okay, so we got a mic up good? Okay.
Can you hear me?
All right, Yanga.
Yeah, I'm at a disadvantage. I don't even know.
Oh, we're talking about Assata.
Yeah, I know what we're talking about, but our panel.
Well, let me just give you a rough thing. We talked about Assata. We talked about Jay-Z and Beyonce going over there, probably being agents.
No, I'm talking about introductions.
I'm sorry. Yanga, this is Tiffany. This is Alberta. And you know, Gidon, King of the Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah, right.
All right, Yanga. So Yanga, I mean, break down Assata Shakur. What's your take on this, brother? You know, she in a socialist country.
Yeah. I think, you know, it's insulting personally for her. But to me, the bigger picture, you know, this still is one of the reasons we have to push our struggle to be legitimized as real revolutionary acts of war.
Right.
That when they came to Africa and put the first one of us in chains, that war was declared against an African people.
That's right.
And that Assata Shakur to be placed on the terrorist list when she was clearly a combatant.
Right.
You see, once the language changes, the law changes. Then we can look into freeing Matula. We can look into freeing Mumia Abu-Jamal, because then they're legitimate prisoners of war.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So when to do things like that and to use words, to fling words out like terrorist and those type of things, that's to delegitimize our struggle for liberation in this country, which is an intricate part of the making of this country. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about, I heard coming out, they were talking about the Black Panther Party for self-defense.
That's right.
And we're talking about under Huey and them, not what's running around
The original,
today.
right.
Not the
So-
new group.
The ones ran by the atheists.
Right.
I know that, okay.
So we have to look at war tactics. Before the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, there was no free breakfast program for children in school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they did that to counter the free breakfast program. What is it reported that Larry Hoover said the dangerous threat to this country is grits? I'm sorry.
Break it down.
The most eternal threat is the Black Panther Party, but he really wanted to say grits.
Right.
Feeding the people. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So this is the attack against Assata is attack on our liberation struggle. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And on blacks. First and foremost, that's when I say our liberation struggle.
Right.
When I say our liberation struggle, I'm talking specifically African people. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't have a problem with, I am a nationalist, hands down, but I'm a practical nationalist. I'm a nationalist that practices and believes in strategies. So, though I am a separatist also, because I don't believe that you will ever be able to fully integrate with the people who don't want you.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? You just have to wake up. Look, you don't want us, cool, fine. When we wake up to that, we'll be better off. But I am a realist. I do know that you need allies. I do know that you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Wait a minute, you ain't gonna. I refuse to accept that. We got a black president now. We got a black
We do have
secretary.
that.
We had a black secretary of state.
Right.
We had Colin Powell.
Right.
We had goddamn who else?
Got them all.
Condoleezza
Got them all.
Rice. We had a
Got
bunch
them
of
all.
black
And you know
presidents.
what? If they were nationalists, we would have been a lot better off.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Not because we could have, nationalism is as natural as breathing. Everything practice nationalism except for the black man and woman in America. We're the only people that despise our identity. You will find us, I listen to it in the music today. Any of y'all listen to hip hop and the rap music?
Yes,
Okay, they call themselves Black Amigos now. Black Amigos,
Oh, so
Little Mexico.
they went from the Italians to the Mexicans now.
They no longer Gambinos, they're Amigos. So until we start finding honor and returning to a healthy, proper African identity,
Exactly.
despite religious theologies or whatever, the basics of being black African, a moral and ethic standard across the board, we will always be a disorganized, disheveled people, throwing our dollars away. Nationalism, how many of our Jewish counterparts would spend $1 with Hitler's face on it?
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow. That's a good one.
That's a very good question.
Not very many. I think zero.
If you gave a Jewish person change the currency and they had Hitler and Minister of Information Goebbels and all that stuff on their dollars,
Don't forget Mussolini.
and Mussolini and all these fascists and stuff like that on their currency, how many times do you think that would go around their community if they even accepted that?
Oh, they're not going to accept
I mean, really think what they would do. Yet you put slave masters, rapists,
Child molesters.
murderers, infanticidus. Is that a word for people who commit infanticide? People who kill babies.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Put them on our currency and force us to use this.
And wait a minute, this money that created out of thin air. Remember, there's money that they charge you interest on in order for them to make it. For you
Wait a minute. How you think capitalism gonna work here, Donna?
Exactly.
Capitalism.
You mean technology?
Technology. Wait a minute. You know,
Capitalism, or you mean robbery? Because that's what it is, robbery. That's all it is.
For a certain group. You know,
Right.
It's
Right.
robbery
Right.
for everybody, period. Everybody don't know it, but it's just robbery.
What about the 1%, though, Tiffany? It's not robbing them. Or are they the ones robbing?
They are the robbers. We
are
are the
If you get
robbies.
robbed, someone has to be doing the robbing. You know. So
Wait a minute. You guys. I can't believe America's just this bad country. I can't believe we just have just bad governments. All you guys are just talk. I mean, we got a black president.
Yeah, I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not. That's one of the things me.
Kitty, you over there laughing. Go ahead, Yank. I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead, Yank.
No, that's just one of the things with me. I know they're gonna say, boy, this is the most oxymoronic person on the world. Is he fresh, frozen, or what? I'm not anti-American, and I don't think America is such a bad place because I can't throw, like I said, the baby with the bathwater. I can't discount the countless black men and women who have sacrificed and died so to make this country what it is today. They're still of African blood. You know what I'm saying? I may not agree with their theologies and ideologies, but their ancestry is undeniable.
Exactly.
So I can't deny their contributions. One of the things I tell Africans though here in America, we have to contribute. We have to, it's just how they invented. You want to know why a lot of our ancestors were so great and we're dying down? Because they didn't invent and create to integrate. They didn't invent and create to be accepted. They invented and created for survival.
Exactly.
Who invented the cotton gin? Was it Benjamin Banneker or someone? The cotton gin?
No, the cotton gin was Eli Whitney.
Eli Whitney. Thank you. So you think he's, I'm gonna make something so these, you know, good white folk here who nicely enslaved us can get rich and this and that and practice and put this and that. He got tired of seeing his grandmama break her back.
Exactly.
Picking seeds out of cotton.
Yes,
so necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
So to advance our race, to ease the pain of our people, the ancestors or that inspiration or that motivation, energy, whatever you're calling it, whatever you're calling it, influenced him.
That's right.
And he created. It was through this, what they call the capitalism. I always like to say it's because they capitalized on people's weaknesses.
Exactly. That's right.
They capitalized on his situation and his advantage, and they took it and saw where they could make money. Had it been up to us, we'd have passed it to every African family and saved their grandmamas.
You know what I'm talking about socialism here?
No, we're talking about George Washington Carver, who he just talked about when he's talking about Eli Whitney and the cotton gin. Right. George Washington Carver is synonymous with the peanut. How many families that you know of that look like us are getting benefits from the peanut billion-dollar industry that's in this country?
Well, they did away with that when they came up with sharecropping.
Exactly. And then they start to scare us away from our economics. My throw out here, and this is where a lot of my African people are going to get mad at me, we have to stop having, goes back to Assata, where Assata represents for me. She represents endurance, perseverance, triumph over traversity. This is what she is the embodiment of to me. So, represents freedom also. And freedom, can't forget that. So her represents this. So what we have to do, we have to stop having the give up mentality.
Right.
And what I mean by that is we have been so spooked by politics and economics.
And spookism.
No, that's what scared us to that. Reality scared us to fantasy.
Right.
So we find our salvation in our
Qurans
and Bibles and Torahs or whatever, and not knocking anybody's personal conviction.
Certainly.
But what I'm saying is if we stay in that rut, you know what I'm saying? If that's as good as it gets for us, we'll still always be behind. Because me coming up as an Orthodox Sunni Muslim, you know that, this and that, and love my father to death, but still, when it's time to buy the Quran, I have to go to Muhammad, I have to go to Ahmed, I go to an Arab community. When it's time for our feast and fast days, I have to go buy my animals from Arabs. When they want my books to learn about my religion, I have to go to Arabs. I mean, you know, when reality sets in, and it's the same with every religion. Christians, you go into, and all these places getting Rome, and the Catholics getting, going eating Jesus' flesh, you got people putting ashes on your head and stuff like that, and you can't tell them that. That's why I don't try to tell them that. What I do try to say is that the tie to all of us is we're African. And until we address this issue, until we become accountable Africans, when I go in and spend my penny, I want to know this product that I'm buying, does it support the atrocities happening in the Congo? Where is this dollar actually going? What do you support? Ooh.
Brother came in on fire. Don't stop it. He on fire.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
But the argument, though, Alberta, is that you don't have to send soldiers. You know, it's so efficient. Just send a drone over there, zap them, and you know. You don't have to worry about them coming back.
They did last week to North Korea.
What?
I'm sorry. They sent a drone. Did you hear about that?
Not to North Korea.
No.
No, it couldn't be North Korea. Nah.
It's according to what it was for. They didn't drop bombs, or was it surveillance?
Oh,
Maybe
I'm asking.
see, I heard that they sent a drone.
Yeah, but they have different.
I know right now they're dealing
reasons.
with Syria right now. They're trying to.
Yeah, they are.
Obama's coming on there saying, well, you know.
They use chemical warfare.
No. He's saying he's playing the lawyer.
Okay.
He's saying, well, no, we don't know. We got to look into it. Oh, by the way, send that drone over there and bomb them people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So he said on this one thing, yes, we're going to look into it. And on the side, he's saying, yeah, bomb them.
Bomb.
Take out those Muslims. Take out those terrorists. So
sometimes you got to make the hard decisions.
So, I mean, did they send it to North Korea or Syria?
It's probably Syria.
Okay.
North Korea playing that.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah. Korea. The only thing they sent over to Korea was Dennis Rodman.
Oh my goodness. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Right.
Well, now you have to remember now, drones can have dual purposes. They can be destructive, or they can be for intelligence gathering.
Okay.
So just because they sent it doesn't mean that anybody was bombed.
Okay.
It could have had cameras. They could have been trying to identify where people were using their heat-seeking technology. And there are drones in many different sizes.
Okay.
When we think of drones, we think about big planes. It ain't necessarily so.
And right now they got a tap dance with North Korea because they have a South Korea, actually born in Seattle, over there in the prison right now, got sentenced 20 years hard labor. So they're going to use them as a bargaining chip. So they're playing the game right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm coming to play devil's advocate.
Come on with it,
y'all
brother.
Oh, yeah.
I can't let y'all
We've
take
been
the
on
spotlight
fire,
from my
brother.
beautiful sister, Assata Shakur.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is her program. We're going to give it to Assata.
All right,
Give it
let's
to
do
her.
it. Let's do it.
Something though, Sister Tiffany.
Okay, what I was going to say is, what has Assata Shakur done for me? Well, personally, as a female, black female, she has her, Angela Davis, and the rest.
Cleaver, yeah.
Yes, and the rest of the sisters, they have opened the doors for opportunity, allow women to have a voice.
That's right.
And be able to speak out and stand up, because at one point in time we weren't able to have a voice.
Right.
We weren't able. We weren't able to do anything.
Wait.
We were shut down.
Wait a minute. In what system? Because
In this system.
Okay, when I say this system, meaning when we were separate, as Yanga was saying, we've always had a voice. Let's look at
In this system, we talk about. Let's talk about historically. Let's talk about in a time period.
No. What I'm saying, Tiffany, is that when I say this system, meaning during separation or segregation, during slavery, we had women that were saying, you know what I'm saying, like Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth. So we had revolutionary sisters always talking.
I mean, we had revolutionary sisters, yeah, but
but
they wasn't getting enough credit.
I'm gonna be honest.
They wasn't getting enough credit.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. They wasn't getting enough credit.
Can I jump in there? I think that one of the things in our revolution we have to do, our sisters are gonna have to understand, and brothers are gonna have to understand that not only are we fighting white supremacy or white racism, we're fighting a white male chauvinist supremacist racist system. So what happens is a lot of times we will practice what's called neo-colonialism, which means we'll take on the identity of our oppressor and run his system. So you got black faces in white places. You understand what I'm saying? So what ends up happening is we will run our oppressor off and become our oppressor to our family. A woman should do this, a woman should do that, according to
you
system.
exactly 100%
Right.
correct. Exactly.
According to the system, according to the system that we were oppressed by.
See, now you're gonna have to make me bring Alberta in, because we can trace the source to the Bible and the Quran now. Alberta, speak on that. Because you talking about.
But who gave it to us?
Wait a minute, because I hear.
It either teaches that men supposed to respect their wives, honor their wives, not suppress them, not to put them down, not to even come down on them. That's what the Bible teaches.
Alberta, explain Sharia law, please.
Sharia law, well, from my understanding,
break it down.
Sharia law is, well, it's basically laws that are designed to keep you oppressed under religious mind control programming.
I'm gonna disagree.
I mean, Sharia law, Sharia law. Well, what do you disagree about?
I disagree because I think that when you're looking at I think that anything you throw out, this is where I think us as African people have to take things in what's called a perspective.
Okay.
Sharia law, to keep people oppressed, what was the condition of Arab women before Sharia law? if you're looking at Sharia law according to television, sisters riding in the Benzes and knocking this and that, hell yeah, it's oppressive. You know what I'm saying? But if you're looking at a time when they buried their daughters, to have a girl was, you know what I'm saying? They could have as many women as they wanted for wives. So 4 wives was a step down. You see what I'm saying? So what we look at as oppressive to a barbaric damn people, the Arabs, Islam was a savior. Our problem is you're trying to take civilized people, you're trying to take God-conscious, naturally people, women who by nature, and I've been I was in a deep, and anybody out here know this, I was a Salafi as-Salih, Salafiyun, for 17 years. No television, no nothing, beard down to here to throw the head. 2 wives wrapped up with veils and they better not say nothing.
Yes, sir.
Like that.
Teach.
And when I realized, what was the problems coming in? Because as an African, I was trying to implement not Islam. My problem is not with Islam, but with the Arab, I was appropriating Arab culture. Islam was the liberator for women. In Islam, women don't have to pay men none of their money. A woman can work in Islam. I know you brothers gonna get mad. A woman can work in Islam. Your lights get cut off. It is still your responsibility. She be sitting on a gold mine, and she would tell you, "Fear Allah, brother."
So what is the? And I'm going to ask everybody this: what is the doctrine? What is the ideology that Assata Shakur is presenting that would get her on a terrorist? Because we know, I mean, they kill police officers.
They wish she would have presented an ideology. She presented and represented something more, way stronger than ideology and a theology. I should say ideology. They wish she would have had a theology. She represented revolution, a conscious revolutionary, and I'm gonna say socialist understanding, a conscious revolutionary, socialist understanding.
So it's about socialism.
She to her allies. You know what I'm saying, to the people behind her.
It's about fighting against oppression in this society. It was about liberating our people. It's about making us aware of things that is going on. It's about us coming together for one common cause.
Okay, but
that's what makes a good hero.
Okay,
I think she represented the liberation of all black people everywhere on this planet, not just here in this country, but everywhere.
Right.
Because anywhere that there's oppression, it needs to be dealt with anywhere in the world.
I think that's what makes a good hero. That's why I think that she is really the epitome of what you can say a hero is. Hold on. Because a hero, every people can see in a hero and pull out for it. She represents the revolution. She represents black women. She represents the socialists. She represents freedom.
This is my take. Because, Fidel has one foot in the grave and Raul is, in my opinion, I think she represents the last bastion of socialism in Cuba. Because they sent Jay-Z and Beyonce down there and they were scanning how they can transform this country into a capitalist society.
Exactly.
And so, if they pay off Raul, then it's all good and dandy because maybe Raul's not a true socialist. But they know Assata is.
You think so?
I thought that's just an opinion. I could be wrong.
Jay is not just lyrically nice, but when you listen to some of his stuff, you know what I'm saying? I think that he caters to the time that he plays in. Like he says in one of his rhymes, he says, I wish that I could rhyme like Common. You know what I'm saying? But he's talking about making money. Right. He said, don't make no money, so I ain't been rhyming like common sense. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't been rhyming with no common sense, or he ain't been rhyming like common sense. He knows what makes the money. And it's unfortunate, so, I don't know. He could be going down there to look for this prospect or that prospect, or he could be, because
I think they were up in arms because if you have somebody like Jay-Z go down, let me just get my perspective on it. He go down there and he learn the system of socialism and come back and put it in the music. You're going to wake up a lot of people because the music right now caters to capitalists all day long. Let it rain.
And not just, then you're waking up right. You're introducing a whole new generation to, if not that, to study. Because now you want to know about Ernesto Che Guevara. You see the t-shirts, the homies got Che on the t-shirt.
That's right.
So you know what I'm saying? So when you got Jay going to Cuba, it's like, Cuba? What is Cuba? How did that form? Damn, they started in Mexico and caught a boat over there. Then you mean you can actually You have the right, if your government is not protecting you or representing you, which is found in this Bill of Rights here, Constitution, wherever, if the government is unable or unwilling, that the citizens, us, have rights to defend ourselves, yada, yada, I don't know verbatim.
Yeah. But, and let's not forget the first person to ever give Fidel room and board in the United States was Malcolm X. A lot of people don't know that.
Yes, I didn't know.
Yeah,
Hey, let me just say,
yeah.
I'm just so honored to see you young people, because here I am. I remember when I was your age, and you remind me so much of myself. You know, here I am sitting up with all these grays, and I see the future here.
Wait a minute, I got grays here.
Well, you got a few of them. You still
All
young,
right,
no player.
all right.
But, you know, I'm just honored that you guys are thinking, you recognize, and I think C.I.A. in this particular scenario is a reflection of where our women need to return to and where they come from.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. Now,
Exactly.
you know Assata's an atheist. I just want to throw that on the table too. Like
Well, see,
most
Okay, it doesn't matter what she is. It doesn't matter what she is.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying.
But it's okay.
Sooner or later, he gonna
Okay,
throw
let's
in
look
y'all.
at what she had done in the past. Let's look at
Her
her
body
as a
of
black
work.
person.
I agree.
Yeah, let's
I
look at
agree.
that.
Right,
we don't
right.
care
Hold on,
about her
hold
being
on.
an atheist.
Hold on.
Yes.
We don't care.
What I'm saying.
Well, that's
is
why
that
I love-
she took the concept of religion and threw it out the window, like the rest of the Panthers did, like Aoki, like Newton. I can go down the list.
Well, see,
Bobby
that doesn't
Seale.
necessarily
they were like,
scare me, or nor
That's
does
what
it
they're
enrage me when we throw labels. Because, see,
Right.
that's why I love you. That's why I can love anybody, not based on their label, but what I see coming from them and what I hear coming out of their mouth.
I agree.
So the labels tend to do just what you said. They
I agree.
separate, and they cause us to have schisms, and we don't. Before we even get to know a person, because you say, well, he's this or she's that,
Start gangbanging.
we put the
Lack of identity.
barrier because
Exactly.
we have a lack of identity. So as we mature in our sojourning in this country, again, going back to C.I.A., I think she is a reflection of what we need to look at as a people that are oppressed in a nation that is oppressive.
and I agree, and that's why she's a threat. Alberta?
Absolutely.
You know, right now, I just feel like this U.S. government is in the process of rounding up every potential terrorist.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Now define terrorists, because I mean they use that so loosely.
You know what?
You just hear it all the time, and I'm like,
Our definition and
according to the
theirs might
government-
be different.
I think so.
I can
That's why
define the
said-
word terrorist.
That's why I said a potential terrorist, because, you know, according to the U.S. government, a Christian who believes in the end times prophecy can actually go on the terrorist watch list.
There you go.
Oh.
I mean, it's like they could expand that
Exactly.
definition to
Absolutely.
include anybody.
They have expanded it.
Okay, they have,
But
like
let
he
me-
said.
Let me play devil's
And-
advocate, like Yanga would say. Let's look at it from a constitutional. Like, if you look at any religion, I don't care what religion it is, they have a foundation of a theocracy, and that could be a threat to a democracy. Just in the defense of the United States government.
It is.
Right. So,
I mean, it absolutely. See, my thing is like this, and let me.
so
go on the-
that I
Yeah.
mean that would legitimize the making
They're
of terrorists,
Let
right?
me go on the record as saying,
Okay.
like I said, I'm a strategist. I am a
Okay.
nationalist. Let me go on the record as saying this too. Like since we're talking about like an act that was done in Boston is cowardly. It's counter-revolutionary, counterproductive. It was cowardly because those were non-combatants. Who are you battling? Nobody. I live here. You live here. Who wants to get on the bus?
Yanga.
For fear of, think about it, man.
No,
Are there
what I'm
any
gonna ask
innocent? Are there any
No, what I'm going
innocent?
to ask you,
There are. There are.
Yanga,
Yes.
in all your years of hearing people getting arrested, how many times have you ever heard a person get in a shootout and they arrest a person, he didn't have a gun in his tongue and his throat?
Get
The
right.
answer.
I mean, it's
I
a
mean,
lot.
that's
It's a
just-
lot
to
of.
me, that's
It's a
just-
lot. It's a lot of BS because it's playing right into everybody's hands. They want us to start becoming fearful.
Right.
When people become fearful, they will sign over their rights. They will
Exactly.
relinquish their rights
And they guns.
and everything.
Yeah.
But thank God that bill didn't pass. You know what I'm saying? The gun ban, and that there are still people out here, white, black,
Oh, they still
Chinese, that are freedom-loving people. See, we
Right.
can't, as a revolutionary, I can't forget the basis of revolution,
Right.
which is freedom. What this so-called country was founded on, revolutionary doctrine and principles
Absolutely.
and actions. That's what this was founded on. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with revolution or revolutionaries. My first principal concern is to Africans, to whom I belong. Because after that, it is about survival. You see what I'm saying? I don't have a choice to change my skin. And no matter how much I try to be anybody else by taking anybody else's name, I would never be them. Exactly. That culture will always be strange and foreign to me. It would always destroy my family because either I'm going to present my woman or we go too African, the black goddess, black god. Now your woman running all over you. Right. Take it down. Take it down. That woman is gone. That's the universe. Man, let's get some work done. Your value is as much as work as
that's why I reject all religious ideologies, all spiritual ideologies. That's why I reject all of it. Because I know it's all BS.
Exactly, and I'm not mad at that. But that works for, you know, the people that it was intended to. Now, I will say this, that coming up as, like I said, as a Muslim, I know a lot of Muslims tell me, say, you are not Muslim anymore. You know, it is what it is. But I will say this, when I need that balance, when I need that go-to foundation, the problem with a lot of our African groups is we haven't created structure or society.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Bring your dad on here, man.
Man, I'm not letting y'all talk about me. My dad will call down the law in this bad boy. He ain't gonna hear that. My mother believed Jesus is the Son of God. She told me, like, I know you, my son. I know Jesus is the Son of God. And my father, Allah is Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. He don't even talk about that. Off the rip. And I can't knock that. Why? Because it has worked for them. You know what I'm saying? I can come and knock their gods, this and that, but I don't have a pot to pee in and a window to throw it out. I don't have food to feed them. We talk about the churches, but the churches are feeding. Right. We talk about the masjids, but the masjids are giving shelter. We talk about the synagogues, but the synagogues are educating.
And let me give some credit to the Roman Catholic Church. See, you can be a priest or a whatever, a cardinal, and you can be a pedophile, and you can run to Rome and be all good.
Exactly.
But eventually, the head guy gonna step down, Mr. Benedict.
Right. Now, when he referenced let me ask you this: is that reflective of the participants? See, what I'm talking about is you have the structure, then you have the participants. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that reflective of? Is that reflective? That's
36 of them, no.
But yep, that's because that's right. Because they allowed that to slip through the participants. Right. Now, in their structure, nowhere does it say in their structure, it is thou shalt rub on a little boy. Nowhere does it say that. So it's the participants who have lacking in their structure.
But in their constitution, they're saying that they do have diplomatic immunity, that they can run back to Rome for refuge.
Exactly.
It's not exactly. So that's what I tell you. When you have your own religion is like Islam wasn't a religion. Islam was a movement.
Well, I heard it was a warrior code.
But look at the police department. It was all same concept. You got the police that are out there robbing, stealing, abusing, and rather than the people who are with them seeing and going back and reporting, i.e. Christopher Jordan Donner, when he did, he was ostracized, maligned, and burn that nigga down. And then they burned. He tried to come out of that place, and they, the same way with C.I.A., they shot him and made him go back in. So again, and then when you talked about the gun legislation that was just passed, where you were supposed to get background check, the vast majority of the electorate wanted that for them to be able to go through a background check. But the powerful lobbyists, the gun lobby, they were able to go in through their corporate interests and the money and buy off. So it doesn't matter about your vote. It doesn't matter. And then the National Defense Authorization Act has taken all the rights that the people thought they had. Go ahead, to you, sir.
All right, we are going to close it out. Next show, we're going to talk about the Black Republicans.
Woo, this is
we're going to talk about Syria, and we're going to talk about...
We're going to talk now. We started as Republicans then.
Yes,
I'll say for the next show.
We're going to do that. So I want to see Gideon. I want to see Yanga.
I want to see Yanga for real.
I want to see Yanga. Every time I leave here, I got Omar cars following me, man.
Join the crowd, my man.